Lori Vallow, known as the Doomsday Mom, was convicted in 2023 for the murders of her two children, JJ Vallow and Tylee Ryan, and conspiring to murder her husband Chad's first wife, Tammy Daybell. When police first asked about her missing children, she showed no distress, deflecting every question with religious references, indicating a potential attempt to avoid emotional engagement. This behavior is distinct in that it suggests a lack of maternal concern, replaced by a focus on spiritual justifications. A notable example of this behavior is when Lori Vallow stated that her children's disappearance was part of God's plan, displaying a clear detachment from the emotional impact of their absence. This response is significant because it highlights her ability to reframe the situation in a way that avoids guilt and responsibility. Lori Vallow's decision to move to Hawaii with Chad Daybell just weeks after her children went missing demonstrates total emotional detachment. This behavior is distinct in that it indicates a lack of concern for the well-being of her children, prioritizing her relationship with Chad over their safety. For instance, she was seen enjoying leisure activities in Hawaii, showing no signs of distress or worry about her missing children. In her recorded interview with police, Lori Vallow used distancing language, such as referring to her children in the third person, and refused to answer direct questions about their whereabouts. This behavior is distinct in that it suggests an attempt to create emotional distance from the situation, avoiding any personal responsibility. A notable example of this is when she stated, "The kids are with someone who can take care of them," without providing any further information. When Chad was arrested and human remains were found buried in his backyard, Lori Vallow remained calm and disengaged. This behavior is distinct in that it indicates a lack of emotional response to the discovery of potential evidence related to her children's disappearance. For example, she showed no signs of surprise or concern when confronted with the news, instead maintaining a calm demeanor. Lori Vallow's attorney coach responses in court revealed a contrast between her performed calm and the total absence of maternal grief. This behavior is distinct in that it suggests an attempt to manipulate her public image, hiding her true emotions and intentions. A notable example of this is when she stated, "I'm concerned about my children's well-being," but showed no emotional expression to support this claim. Witnesses described Lori Vallow as having a flat effect, showing annoyance rather than anguish when asked about her missing children. This behavior is distinct in that it indicates a lack of emotional response to the situation, replaced by irritation or frustration. For instance, she was seen rolling her eyes or sighing when questioned about her children's disappearance, displaying a lack of concern. The psychological profile of Lori Vallow suggests that she reframed murder through religious ideology to eliminate guilt. This behavior is distinct in that it indicates a complex and potentially manipulative mindset, using belief systems to justify and distance herself from her crimes. A notable example of this is when she stated, "I'm doing God's work," to justify her actions, demonstrating a clear attempt to rationalize her behavior. Investigative techniques used to corner Lori Vallow included analyzing her behavioral tells, such as her lack of distress and deflection tactics. Investigators also used psychological profiling to understand her mindset and motivations, ultimately building a case against her. For instance, they examined her social media activity, revealing a pattern of religiously motivated posts and comments that justified her actions. The psychology of someone who uses belief systems to justify and distance themselves from their crimes is complex and multifaceted. In Lori Vallow's case, her religious ideology played a significant role in her ability to rationalize her behavior, allowing her to avoid feelings of guilt and responsibility. This behavior is distinct in that it indicates a potentially manipulative mindset, using belief systems to justify harmful actions. In conclusion, the Lori Vallow case highlights the importance of analyzing behavioral tells and psychological profiles in investigative techniques. By examining her behavior and mindset, investigators were able to build a case against her, ultimately leading to her conviction. The psychological profile of someone who uses belief systems to justify and distance themselves from their crimes is a significant area of study, providing valuable insights into the complexities of human behavior.